It's been a few nights since we last checked in with our coterie. This evening, they find themselves at the Eclipse, the bar, which is in a sense, makeshift headquarters of Nikolai Dietrich, the Primogen of Clan Zinity. In a sense, it is his
I mean, it's in my
seat of power.
domain. It's more Elijah's
True,
project.
true. Um, but this evening, you've all gathered there um, just to reconnect, catch up with each other with regards to what it is you have discovered in the past few nights and where it is you might be planning to go. As a few nights prior, you'd all met with Mama Odette, one of the pillars of the mage community here within New Orleans to discuss the problem of Blue Eyed Jack. There were a bunch of new terminologies, perhaps, to some of you that were thrown around during the conversation. Essentially, the thing that has been mulling through your mind is not so much in terms of what she had said with regards to the things that they're working on, more in regards to the fact that it seems that this man has acquired a fair amount of businesses, not just in Elijah's domain, but throughout the city in interesting locations. Odette said to you that if you do plan on taking this man out, you're going to need to find a way to send some mortals in there and look for a few key items. Upon which she had shown you a picture of a quite old looking touch desk lamp. Without too much explanation, she had let you know that if you can find these and take care of them in these 4 locations, you should be able to pay Jack a visit without too much of a hassle. But in the intervening time, Sora had met with Finn Aegis and had gotten a bit more information about this advanced biotech institution. And being unaccustomed to corporate intrigue and infiltration and sabotage, perhaps that has been on Sora's mind for the past few days as well. But as far as all of you are aware, there is nothing too strenuous planned for the docket this evening as far as affairs of, shall we say, state go. Nikolai, you are aware that Madeline has not quite gotten back to you just yet as to when she will be meeting with you regarding Mr. Hamish's, well, the issue which you want to bring up regarding Mr. Hamish with regards to claiming ownership, shall we say. But where would you all be placed in the club this evening? Downstairs in Grace's office or in the private room?
I'm presuming since we're probably going to be talking about some, G14 classified information in the words of Rush Hour, we will probably be located in the private room.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think, for my side of it anyway, I don't think Nikolai probably ever spends much time in the public area when he comes here. I think if it's just him coming to see Elijah, he probably goes to Grace's office a lot. But knowing that the rest of the Coterie was going to be here, he'd probably go to the private room.
Fantastic. Well, Elijah, a question about the private area. Do you end up arranging any kind of special entertainment there on occasion? Or does the general music still filter into the area from the club while people are able to watch the dance floor of mostly mortals?
Music from outside would still filter in. Occasionally they are rented out, but it's on there's a list and you have to be on the list to get. But Elijah occasionally just overrides the list if he needs to use it.
Very good. As you were all there in the sort of VIP area that is kindred only, you do run into Grace on your way in, and she has an exasperated look on her face, and she says, "I swear to all that is holy, Elijah, you are my boss and other things, but my office and my papers, you can't keep moving them like that. It's not, I mean, I know how I place things on my desk. That is not how I leave things. Please, please."
Okay, so the next time you want me to leave the papers on your desk when Nikolai and Elijah are left, or Nikolai and myself are left alone together, correct?
Wait, what?
Can you install, like, I don't know, just one of those, put in $1, opens a window, two people go in, and other people get to watch the two of you, just something like that. Just the office. I'm getting a headache.
Yeah. Why don't you go tend to your paperwork? If anything has gone missing, however, that wasn't me. I always put everything in the top drawer out of respect for your receipts.
I'm tempted to say I don't need details, but maybe I do need details.
Next time I'll video it.
I'm gonna go take about 25 aspirin. I'll be back later.
I love you, Grace.
So she's walking away, rubbing her temples.
Sora just writes in a notebook that they have in their hoodie, "You all need Gokanda," and it just slides it back and it slides it back into their pocket.
You all need.
You're gonna make cards, just start handing them out.
Yeah.
Little pamphlets.
I keep telling people, cults and their pamphlets.
Yeah. So Sora is dressed a bit differently this time. They have instead of their usual white, they're dressing in a mostly dark gray hoodie, still well fitted, that shows off their physique, and with that nice zip down showing their of course their pecs and their chest muscles and everything in between. There's also like these bright blue highlights, almost kind of like Tron. That's like along the trimming. And then loose pants and boots, almost looking a bit more like outside of the blue that adds a little bit of fashion flair. And it looks a little bit more combative in a way, which may give the appearance that they're perhaps looking to go into mission details. And as they lean against the wall, their hands jammed into their pockets, staring at you all, it says, "Well, I got quite a bit of information, but I'll let you all go first."
Uh, what have
Oh,
you
it.
what have you learned so far about the world out there, Sora, since we last really talked? I know you know
Well,
there's us and werewolves and ghosts, but
you mean like what have I discovered on my adventures, or like what do I know outside of our group of sorts?
yeah, what else have you, for instance, did you know that magic is actually a thing, not like what the Tremere or the Banu Hakim do, or even what the Hakata do. It's real magic that
Just within
mortals do.
earshot of me. Or are you guys like off in a corner somewhere?
Well, I think we're all together, right?
Unless you went somewhere other than the back room, we would
Oh,
definitely
no,
be in
probably
earshot.
not.
Because I think, are we the only kindred here? Because it is technically an Elysium. That I guess I should ask that before we just start brazenly talking about everything.
In your area, the some night, the VIP area, so far it is just you guys. If you want to see if anyone else is in the building, you're welcome to make, like on the dance floor or anywhere else, you're welcome to make what's an awareness check if you'd like.
Yeah, I would like.
Because you are able to see through the one-sided mirror glass, one-sided
Yeah,
glass.
yeah.
I'm also gonna
Security glass.
activate Sense the Unseen.
Sure.
If Quinn was nearby, he would have probably have just chimed in and been like something. Oh, like, what do you mean magic? You mean like card tricks? Saw a
well,
lady in half, but not literally. I hope. Maybe
Pick
I don't
a
want to do
card,
that.
No,
Whole,
any
not
card.
not parlor tricks like that.
I mean,
actual-
Sakura's not here. I don't want to saw a lady in half again with her.
I can't say that I blame you. I wouldn't do that.
ooh.
2 successes for me.
2
As I'm
successes?
chit
All
chatting
right.
with people and kind of keeping an eye
5.
5 successes for
out. Nosy
Sense
fucking
Unseen.
Toreador, I love you.
Like you said, what now?
Very good. Yeah, so for having a general sort of like browse in the sense with your eyes outside the one-way glass there, you do catch like basically one other person sort of having a drink. It's not like a shock to you because like she does come in here on occasion. You know her to be Renee. It's Renee Dubois. It is Annette's sister. Also one of Camille's sort of coterie, but it seems she's just by herself having a drink at the bar. That's the only other person you clock, Nikolai. Elijah, with your 5 successes,
And Sense the Unseen, just to put it back out there.
yeah. So the room itself that you're in does seem fine. Like you don't see anyone that is not supposed to be here. You do notice downstairs next to Renee, there is an obfuscated person. You make out the general shape and height of Lolita. So Lolita was probably with Renee, being that they are sisters. Maybe they're just having a drink here. You also have a bit of a look as people are sort of wandering around, and you do see sort of Grace heading downstairs just to go check on something behind the bar. You can't quite make out too many details, but there's like a little, at least from this distance, it's like you can swear you see like a little red streak on Grace's like neck, the back, but it's not like, it's something that you are aware that you are seeing through sentiency. It's small, and you'd have to, like, to get more information about it, you'd have to actually see Grace. But that's what you get to see.
He nonchalantly just pulling out his phone, texting Grace, being like, 180 back up here.
You get an emoji response back, which is more along the lines of like one of those like ugh kind of things. But yes, doesn't take very, very much longer for Grace to be there. But Andre Nikolai is still having that conversation while Grace is making her way back upstairs.
So Sora, listening to the question, he eyes Nikolai intently and then takes a deep breath, sighs, and says, well, this is going to sound a bit crazy, but not too long ago, things were different. There was a time where we were working with a mage who was able to perform magic that I haven't seen before in order to fix Ricky. And when that magic was completed, there was 2 sets of memories in my head. The one that we're currently am now, and the one that we were before. Yet when I present this to others, everyone else, no one else seems to recollect this. So I just kept it to myself because try to explain this to others, people are going to assume that I'm a mad individual. And I already have a domain that's located in the Savage, so people already probably have that opinion. So did it with to add fuel to the fire. His eyes, Elijah, with the head of movement, like 2.0 right there, 2 points added to that aspect. So, but with that, there's definitely some incredible magic out there that these individuals can do. Who knows what else is up their sleeves?
I mean,
having it pointed out to him, does Nikolai have any other, or anyone else here, since Sora's bringing it up, have any potential chance to try and recall any of that?
Those that were here had already made their save for that.
Like the only one that wasn't there was Alex.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if Alex was here or not. Probably not,
I
right?
missed the whole timey-wimey craziness that
Mm-hmm.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will say you can give me a stamina and occult roll.
Do that.
I'm going to say Unswayable Mind probably factors into this.
Okay.
This is to do with your own recollection of things.
That makes sense. believe I only have one dot for that. Yeah. Okay. 5 successes with a crit.
5 successes with a crit. You were looking for 6.
Okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to blow willpower on it because I'm okay story-wise either way, whether Nikolai recalls things or doesn't. So,
Yeah.
regardless, his sentiment on it at this point. Well, Sora, while I definitely don't have any recollection of this, as you clearly pointed out, I certainly don't think it's crazy. For one, I'm a man of science, and when you start getting into some of the complex scientific theories out there, odds are very strong that there may be things like parallel universes and things of that nature where you could have divergences in timelines, and much like you're discussing. It would even potentially explain things like time travel and how that could work if you don't damage your own timeline technically, so you can't have the grandfather paradox because you travel back and end up in a different stream of time. So that all jives with me. And knowing what I know, which is, and as you obviously know, there are mortals that can weave magic in ways that are very different from what we do. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know their full capabilities because the Book of Nod, for the record, does not say much about them other than they exist, as well as a few other things that I haven't ever encountered myself so far. But yeah, it seems that right now in Elijah's turf, and from what we've been able to dig up over some discussions, it seems not just Elijah's turf, but a few other places around New Orleans in general have been getting infiltrated by what appears to be a renegade. One of these mages, I suppose, for a lack of a better term for them.
Elijah, what have you been getting yourself into? Because
I haven't been doing anything. I'm surprised that Madeline doesn't know about this, seeing how she's tight with them. So the fact that I have to find out is annoying. I'm annoyed.
well, this kind of stems to some of the information I was able to discover. Not mages essentially, but another group that seems to perhaps have their eye out on you, but completely different ball game. And so that's why I'm like, we know you have a very flamboyant, out there, extravagant personality for many to see, but so for some reason there's quite a few targets that seems to be aiming towards your direction.
I don't know anymore.
So, but yes, please continue. I'll get to what I was able to discover in a second if there's more. Is there a way?
I mean, for right now, we don't have a ton more information other than, as Elijah pointed out, despite this alliance that seems to exist, it feels like information might not be moving quite so freely between various factions as the utopian ideal of it would put forth, which, I mean, we all have seen both Camarilla and Anarch politics in and of themselves. That's not surprising that trying to get even more people at the table just doesn't work like you would hope. However, this doesn't seem to be isolated to an Anarch or Camarilla issue. And who knows what Madeline's motives are. Maybe she knew and from the Camarilla perspective, but just didn't feel like it was necessary to share that information with the local Anarch population. Maybe Madeline's completely unaware. We stumbled onto what looked like a small cabal of these magic users who provided us a little bit of information. But
And what is the purpose of these mages attempting to infiltrate? Like, why would they have an issue specifically with Elijah or these other pocket domains that they're attempting to infiltrate in?
At about this time, Grace re-enters the room.
Mouth sealed.
I have so much to do.
I know. Just turn.
Gotten downstairs.
Just turn. He's just turning her physically to like flip her hair up to look.
Yeah, to your eyes, it you can sort of see it now. It is sort of touching her skin, sort of not touching her skin, but to your vision. It looks to be some kind of sigil, perhaps very small. But make an intelligence Nicole roll for me.
Oh, that's only 2 dice. The 1 success.
You don't want to browse the blood?
That was on hunger die.
Oh, do you want to mention it to someone? I mean,
yeah, he's gonna like, hey, you got a piece of paper?
Of course, and they'll take out the sketchbook, move it past the Unigo kind of piece of paper, and then slide it over to Elijah.
Yeah,
look at this page.
Yeah,
he's just going to draw it, tear it out, hand it to Nikolai because he knows Nikolai's good with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'll let both. Anybody who wants to.
Yeah, I'll let Sora and Quinn take a look if they want to take a look at it.
Yeah, you can all roll intelligence gold.
I got some good stuff in intelligence and code. I will definitely go ahead and roll that.
I will go ahead and ask, does Nodism play any role into the symbology that's here?
Yes.
Okay.
Quinn got 3 successes.
Okay. We'll let everyone get their rolls in, and then I will let everyone. As for what Elijah, the most you get is, I mean,
that looks weird.
Yeah, it's something that's not visible to people, but it's there.
I have 4 successes for Nikolai.
Cool.
Willpower spent by 5.
Cool. So, Quinn and Nikolai and Sora, the 3 of you do recognize that is definitely kindred based. It's seems to have something to do with blood sorcery. Quinn, you've seen some of the libraries. You've started to see some of the symbology and all this type of stuff like that. Both Nikolai and Sora, the specifics that you get out of it is that it is it's definitely Tremere in nature, but it is related to the I'm forgetting the exact house name here, but that house that went over to the Sabbat.
Gotrix.
That's the one. Thank you.
If I'm pronouncing that right. I never know if I pronounce that correctly. I'm terrible at pronunciations for anybody.
You're not entirely sure of its function, of what this exact thing is, because you haven't seen it used before, but you are familiar enough with the ideas there to be like, this is something to do with them for sure, because this is not the kind of stuff that you would see usually not the kind of stuff you'd see like Cam Tremere or probably even Anok Tremere like using. Because and that's why I said it is sort of related to nodism, just because it's used a bit in like their more Sabat Kane related Tremereness is the best I can give you here. But not being involved in that, you don't exactly know what it's supposed to do.
And it makes sense that the two people that hate Tremere the most is the two that recognize the symbology. And so Sora just looks towards Nikolai and says, "Oh, that's some Tremere shit."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So
once again,
everything that likes to fuck around with magic wants to be fucking with us right now.
So a Tremere mucked with my ghoul.
Yep, specifically
to be fair,
for
it could be Banu Hakim.
I don't care. Any way to trace it? Figure out who did it?
Who did what? What are you talking? What are you talking about?
There's something. Have you been around anyone unusual who may have been just a little too chummy with you? Did you get like kidnapped and didn't tell me?
I'm pretty sure I'd remember if I got kidnapped. And that reminds me, could you please stop moving the papers in my office and putting them back in like a better order?
I didn't move the papers in your office.
Uh-oh. Sora's going, where's your security cameras? Do you have a security sitter around here?
Yes, it's upstairs somewhere.
Do you mind if I take a look?
I'm going to go check the office.
Yes,
Grace, come show me the files. You come with me. I'll show you the security room.
Sora whispers to Nikolai's ears. It says, and as well as Quinn, it says, "I think Sora's messed with her memories."
Quinn, come with me.
It certainly looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Elijah.
Kolya, you know, if you figure out who it is, know that I'm going to kill them. Slowly.
I'm not going to stop you, Elijah.
Good.
Very good. So you we'll go to the office first. So you make your way into the office that you sort of like, share with Grace, etc. And Grace says to you, I've sorted everything out now. In a sense, I've put everything back the way it was, but I come in here and you've rearranged my papers and packed them in this order, and you've put these pencils all neatly aligned in some weird OCD fashion.
Why would she do that, Grace? Or he do that?
Grace, have I ever put anything neat? I leave alcohol bottles everywhere. Have you ever seen me be neat?
Well,
You yelled at me the other day for putting a glass on the table.
Do you take your drinks neat, Elijah?
Oh, never, honey.
I suppose it was weird that you left your bottle on a coaster like a couple of... She sort of sits down for a second.
Okay, is anything
What
missing?
day is it, Elijah?
It's like Tuesday.
And she's like, hold on. And she like, there's a desk calendar. When did it become August?
When July turned into August. What is the last thing you remember?
There were a whole bunch of people here just the other night. Sakura stormed in and stormed out, and stormed in and stormed out. And I remember that it seemed as if Michaela had been fighting with that handsome man.
Oh, yes, her unfortunately handsome sire. Yes, I know. Since then? You've been here since then. It's like a month
Yes.
and a half ago, 2 months, something like that.
I've been coming to work. I've been going home. And it feels like every time I come back in here, I'm angry about the fact that you moved my papers.
I don't normally move your papers. I normally just put them like one stack on top of the other and put them in the front drawer. I usually try and go from left to right to keep them in some semblance of order. Is anything missing in the papers? Anything new?
Both yourself and Quinn, if you want to investigate the office here, you're welcome to make a wits and investigation roll.
Well, I don't know as though Quinn would even have any knowledge of the original contents of the office, much less what might be missing.
True, but who knows? You might discover something.
That was a grand total of nothing.
See if he gets a grand total of something. 2 successes, actually.
Thank you.
All right. So Elijah, it's how you remember leaving it from earlier today when you had stored some stuff. Nothing seems out of place to you. Quinn, again, yeah, as you said, you don't know the previous way that it was arranged, but it's pretty clear to you that the pencils, as Grace had discussed them being very specifically aligned in a certain way with the keyboard, and the neatness that she's describing is not what you're seeing here at all. It's neat enough, but it's not that level of like somebody was obsessive about straight edges and things aligning in a certain way.
Well, Grace did say she rearranged it, right? So
yeah, she did say she rearranged it, but it is not how she described things. And two successes is maybe enough for you to kind of make out that what she's describing doesn't seem as if it's recent.
Grace, do you remember what day it is or was the last time you looked at that calendar?
It was a while ago.
Be more specific. What do you think it was?
I don't know if I can. Like,
it's okay.
Somewhere around March, maybe.
Oh. I mean, that's a starting point.
I'm feeling like a Wednesday, a late Wednesday.
Don't look at me. I can barely remember last week.
But I remember I've been here. I've been doing things. My orders don't seem backed up.
You put the flowers over there like 2 days ago.
I remember that.
You yelled at me for the ashtray.
I mean, that could be 5 minutes from now.
Well, it's something more specific, Elijah, that, isn't something regular that from what I
It's
remember.
I don't know. I usually just let Grace do whatever Grace does during the day and the evening. I don't ever really uh don't usually tell her to do anything other than her normal jobs.
It's fair. I mean, it's their purpose, right?
Yeah, yeah. She's
I
smart and
I
capable.
am smart and capable.
That's why you're here. But
That's the reason I picked her. She I don't need to babysit her.
a lot can be said for that in a worker, not having to
Okay,
babysit them.
okay. So the night of the party when Sakura kept coming and going and Michaela was with her devilishly handsome sire. Uh, did you talk to anybody?
I
I,
remember talking to you,
you talked to me.
and you said something about burning a chair that somebody had been in.
Yes. Did you ever burn that chair?
But that person had never been in.
No, he was new, but that chair still needed to be burned.
Well, I mean, I don't. You described somebody to me that I have never seen in my life.
So you don't remember the Ventru. Oh, that makes sense. Do you remember the other two people who came in where I told you to have someone scrub the floor? I mean, I would have had that section entirely removed, but that marble is expensive.
That was a long time ago. But that all of that's been already done.
You haven't seen the other man or the woman around it before again.
I feel like the woman's been here once or twice, but not in the private area, just downstairs. But it seemed as if things were under control. It was like they came in and took somebody out with them kind of affair.
That was probably Nikolai. You, you know, why don't you take the rest of the night off? And tomorrow, why don't you go get yourself like a spa day? Like go get your nails done, go get a massage. I'll pay for it.
I don't know if spas can take whatever you were
You know,
asking.
it might help with the anxiety while we figure out what's going on. Did you ever talk? Who was the last person that you remember talking to that was a little weird? Maybe asked you something ridiculous? That wasn't the usual suspects.
The only person who might be, I don't know, not necessarily weird, but it's one of your regulars, usually up in the VIP area. She's 9 times out of 10 a doll, but occasionally she asks weird questions. That I think she's a singer or something. She almost dresses like she's out of the 40s.
Annette.
No, McGowan. Ellie was her name. On the odd occasion, she asks me odd questions like, or she says something like, just look out for the number 17 today, and then leaves.
Oh. No, besides her, anyone else that's unusual?
This is New Orleans.
Humor me. Just anyone that maybe was acting uh, uh, a little just
What's Grace's
what?
pool? What are Grace's pools like? I'll roll
Uh,
for her.
hold on. I've got to pull up her sheet. It should have been on the drive, but what are you looking for?
Mental mental pulls?
She's got 4 in intelligence, 3 in wits, 2 in resolve.
Okay. I'll just have her roll intelligence quick. That's pretty good. It's pretty good as far as memory goes. Let's see. Kind of weird people, out of the ordinary.
Not the usuals.
Oh. I feel like I have somebody, but when I'm trying to think about them, it's like
No,
I have something on the tip of my tongue and I can't point at it.
Adjective. What is the first word that normally comes to mind? Like not even a description, just like slimy, arrogant, handsome.
Shoes.
Shoes.
Nice shoes.
Nice shoes.
Expensive ones.
Nice women's shoes, men's shoes, gendered nondescript shoes.
I feel like men's shoes.
Okay, that's a starting point. I will go see Kira.
Expensive.
Take the rest of the night off.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile,
he is going to swoop around and give her a kiss on top of the head.
Oh.
Grace appreciates it and indeed endeavors to take the night off. Meanwhile, up in the security area that you have been given access to, where would you like to start is my question.
Sora will look towards Nikolai and says, so you all are presuming you all have a better understanding of the security system. I've worked security systems before, but I'm not sure which...
Quinn at least has technological expertise. So,
wait, what, you were with Elijah though, right? Or were you with?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
so
this is at the same sort of time.
Yeah, I would say if you don't have any of that, you might want to come get me. I have a dot in technology.
That's enough to press play.
Mm-hmm.
And rewind.
Puzzle out how the La Sombra has dots in technology.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely work the system. It's all computer related, so everything gets sort of like backed up to the cloud. There are like physical storage that's here as well. But the question is, how far do you want to go, or where do you want to start searching? Do you want to look at tonight, or just start it tonight and go in reverse?
Yeah, Sora would definitely make that suggestion. He'll look towards Nikolai and says, I think our best bet is to look for cameras specifically trained on Grace. Try to track their is Grace she what was her pronoun? She track her movements from today, specifically from a few minutes ago, because she just mentioned the exact same statement that she just did when she first came in, and that could not have been more than 15 minutes. So start from 15 minutes ago, from now 15 minutes ago, and continue to move past in time, specifically tracking her movements to see who she all interacted with.
That should be doable. However, we do have to keep in consideration if Elijah was seeing something branded magically onto Grace, it may have been something that's been there for a while. But we don't really have anything else to go off of because we were in that other conversation, so we don't know when it happened. So yeah, they will just kind of start working in tandem with Sora. Like I'll probably, because we likely have a number of monitors to have multiple different cameras around the club. So basically, like split the screens half and half and start going back through the footage. Probably at, as long as Sora's comfortable with it, probably at double speed. Nikolai would be comfortable operating at that.
All right. So what we'll do here is, out of the two of you, who would have the highest wits and technology pool?
Wait, wits is technology or intelligence is technology?
Wits, because this is sort of like an on-the-go kind of thing.
Okay, so that it would be 4.
Tie.
Oh, forget this. Oh, you got 5?
No, tie.
Oh, tie? Okay.
Tie? Okay, cool. Then it'll just be whoever wants to roll, because it's the two of you working together, you can add like 2 dice, basically.
I made the other check. Go for it.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I will go ahead and rouse just to be on the safe side because I don't like this. Like, everyone seems to be going after Elijah, and I'm just like, what is happening? Okay, so no, get hungrier. I'll add 2 dice to that, so that'll make it. So I get 2 from you and then 2 from
Rouse.
Rouse. Perfect. Okay. 8 dice.
That is a good pool.
Yes.
Yeah?
Perfect. Here we go.
Would you like a bucket of dice?
Woo! Okay, that's a crit. 4, 5, 6, 7 successes was the crit.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So you, between the two of you, you are keeping an eye out, sort of moving these tapes at double speed, sort of going from the point where you just had your conversation with Grace, moving backwards, keeping your eyes out on any cameras that Grace might be involved in. And you see at one point in the evening where Grace is in her office, it looks as if she winces for a second, rubs the back of her neck, sort of shakes her head a little bit, and walks downstairs to the bar. And you switch cameras to the bar angle, and you can see that she appears to be making some kind of drink. And she looks as if she's putting something under the coaster, under the drink, puts it on the counter, and then goes back upstairs. A few moments later, somebody walks up, takes the drink and the note, and then disappears.
What does that somebody look like?
Very blurry.
No me gusta. No me gusta. It's
Very blurry. You can't quite make out this person's face.
Is it like a La Sabra feel type blurry? Or is it like...
Well, for those of you that are aware of what happens sometimes when you try and get, well, most of the time, if not all the time, when you try and get a lassie on a camera, you get witness protection footage.
Yeah, so...
How
There.
many...
What you
Are
can
there
make
any
out
Lasombra
is that the
in-
shape seems to be feminine.
Are there any Lasombra in town technically that are actually affiliated with the Camarilla now that Kenny and Rich are no longer in the city?
There are 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I know one of them.
So
Uh,
could
Renee
This
is
is Lasombra,
Anarch.
right? She's Anarch, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As far as
But-
kindred go, there are actually 4 Camarilla Lasombra within the city.
that said,
Which is
think-
interesting because they do not have a Primogen.
I think with the context that we have so far, that at least that Nikolai's been able to piece together here, it's pretty safe to say it's probably not the Camarilla Lasombra in this instance. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, friend. Well, it's not really a friend of yours. Who? The person who bought my painting. Maria, I think her name was.
Yeah.
Is she?
She's with the Sabbat.
And she's aware of your connection with Elijah, correct?
Indeed.
Do you think she may be attempting to get to you through Elijah?
Not exactly sure what her game is here, but I am fairly certain it is them. The blood magic being used is not something normally really done among the Anarchs or even the Camarilla. It looked like the symbol looked like one of those ones from there's this series of rituals that there is in blood magic that the Sabbat have kind of nurtured, and I don't know what the exact symbol was, but it looked like one of theirs. Now, it could be that they're trying to poke at Elijah to get at me, but it could be something else.
Do you have a way to reach out to her?
Not that I'm aware of. Every time that I've seen her so far since she arrived in town, she's found me, along with my sire.
Sora slides into their pocket, pulls out the business card that Maria gave to her that was supposed to be used for interactions for future painting exchanges. It says, this may help out a bit. And slides it over to Nikolai.
Nikolai will take it.
I would say, looking through the footage and having the conversation with Grace, your Quinn and Elijah have probably made their way to the security area by now.
Well, what did you all find?
Well, whoever, I don't know what she's talking about, the papers. They look like papers. She can't remember who it is. She gets nice shoes, but nice like masculine shoes. She can't remember the person, so I'm thinking someone mucked with up here.
Yeah, like flashy thingy.
Okay, the Men in Black
yeah,
devices.
Yeah, I remember that movie. That was a good movie.
So we will be taking a look at. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, and Nikolai will start queuing up the footage, specifically just like at least that one chunk that they've found so far of Grace reacting, and then seemingly Manchurian Candidate style, making a drink and a note and leaving it for someone that shows up.
I'm telling you, if there is a Ventru that has stepped foot in this bar, I'm going to.
Not a venture. What we can see here, they'll point towards the footage where things, as they stated, looks like witness protection mode. That's normally a Sabra technique. I should know. And then they'll move like a screen over to the security footage, current security footage where Renee is sitting at. And you pretty much can see pretty much the exact same static type aspect going on. It's a characteristic that they share.
Kolya, are your former co-workers messing with my ghoul?
Co-workers. That's a good way to describe it. Bob from the office again.
I worry that they are, but I don't know why. I'm not sure what the play is here that they're trying to
I want you to know, whichever one it is, I'm going to burn their little haven to the ground if I find it.
Wait, do not do that just yet.
It could be a couple of them, and they usually don't have their own havens.
I will apologize to Madeline later if I start a fire in her domain, but I cannot have them messing with Grace.
I agree. That compromises a lot of things.
What next? They're going to mess with Quinn or Sora or Michaela or Sakura?
Potentially, if their play is to target me through individuals I associate with. But if their play is something else, because we have to keep in consideration the fact that this is an Elysium and they have become aware of that fact. So this could be a play against the politics of this situation.
Well, I'm always on the lookout for new test subjects.
See, Quinn has the right idea. I'm agreeing with the former Thin Blood, Kolya. This is a disaster of a night.
I'm not saying it isn't.
I don't think that's a good bar to indicate that it's a disaster of a night. I will say I agree with Quinn on everything, but Quinn has always came up with some great suggestions from time to time. With that said, I had a feeling that this was not going to be the last we saw them. They seem to peep their heads to your particular establishment for quite often. This just seems to be the most recent endeavors. And to be honest, half of the reasons why I kept her business card was besides the fact that she helped funded me and helped make me the wealthy individual I am today. It was also to be able to keep an eye out on them. So when they perform tasks such as this, I could be able to further investigate and make sure things don't go wrong.
Do you know your former cohorts delve in wealth, or like how does that work?
Sometimes. I don't know what they're up to now. It's been, well, other than when they decided to barge in, it had been a little over a year since I had been around them. I don't know what they're into at this point.
Okay.
So that means you have another target on your back, Elijah. You have to worry about mages in your domain. You have to worry about this bot group that is attempting to infiltrate due to previous relations with our great friend here, Nikolai. And you have an entire organization, a multi-billion-dollar organization, seeming wanting to investigate our establishment known as Pentech, which was what I was going to discuss about before this took place. It seems that that barcode that was underneath the alcoholic beverage in there is associated with an organization that primarily ties themselves with werewolves, and they're known as Pentech.
I think I've heard that name before. They have a lot of government contracts, I think, but I don't really know a whole lot about what they do.
Oh, they are the primary establishment against werewolves. Finn was highly upset after they discovered the origin of this barcode. They also seem to have a great connection a strong connection with the Leopold organization. So things are getting a bit the specific branch that was out here was known as the Advanced Biotech International, I think it was called. In any case, you have a lot of individuals coming after you. I'm going to do my best to make sure we can at least get rid of one of them, specifically biotech. However, even the plan of attack associated with them is complicated. It deals more with corporate espionage, which is not my area of expertise. So I'm going to be attempting to get some advice from my other coterie to see if they have some suggestions there. But Elijah, you are a hot target, a hot commodity at the moment.
I don't even know how these people find me. Like, I just open a bar. I do stuff here. I paint. I do stuff here. That's it. I don't ever really go and talk to any of these other people.
Somehow they seem to find you.
Your bar is just too popular, Elijah.
How hard would it be to just can I just go on vacation to like New York for like 10 weeks? Just to like, I can't with these people. I can't with these people today.
Well, that's easy. We'll just, we'll find them and burn them to the ground.
Oh no, that is not the technique.
Multi-billion-dollar corporation.
You can't go that road. Unfortunately, Finn already has made that establishment. If that was the case, the werewolves would have eliminated them a long time ago. This is a lot more complicated, specifically dealing with freezing their assets. Again, a corporate espionage, trying to frame some of their higher ups, so therefore they get removed from party, and then or get bought up by. Perhaps we could look into buying some of their branches. Now that some of us have some additional wealth, but it's going to be very complicated.
The multi-million dollars we have laying around, buy a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
I mean, it's a start. I guess we could start working to that. But the other difficult aspect is they're working with Leopold, which we all know the firepower that the Leopold group has. So,
okay, can we take on one small crisis at a time? Which one is the most accessible? Because it seems like your corporate espionage is not going to be in our ball game.
Not for a period of time. That's going to be a gradual work in progress for me. But at the same time, I still don't know how quickly they're going to come after you. And so I want to make sure we don't wait too long until it's too late.
Are we even sure it's me they're after? Because Sakura,
it was an alcoholic beverage. Come on now, fam. Who else is they going to go after with that?
They could have just left that there for any of us. After all, remember, Sakura said she blew the location of the house, mucking with them.
What? I have not seen Sakura drink one alcoholic beverage to save my life.
Maybe they just thought it would blend in.
To be fair, Sakura has a drink on the menu. I assume Sakura drinks or drank.
I just never seen it.
I mean, I don't drink because it's pointless for me, but...
Well, I mean, that's true. It's not 100% certain that they're coming after you. I'm just leaning towards that ordeal due to the fact if I was assuming it was after Sakura, or it would have been maybe like a cell phone, or if it was like Michaela, maybe a nice book or something. But alcoholic beverage is only one individual.
Just the one thing they thought was not going to be that noticeable.
Hopefully, if they're going after the house as a whole and not specifically you, then that makes things a bit easier to address, because then we won't have to worry about someone specifically targeting an individual. Usually when you're a specific target, they try to go after you in a very short time frame. They don't wait like long periods of time and then take you out. You're pretty much in their crosshairs. You maybe have like a bounty of like 2 to 3 months before you're taking off the board, what I gather.
Yeah, and that's obviously been longer than that.
Since that alcoholic beverage been there, it's only been a couple of days.
Well, we've been out of that house for a while.
True.
And I don't go back there. I've been back there once.
Well, we'll see.
Quinn, As you are all sitting here in the area of the security area, your phone starts ringing. It's an unrecognized number, but it is displayed. It's not like a unknown number. It is a displayed number, but it's unrecognized.
Ring, ring.
It's a number you don't know. There's no name attached to it, but it is not a hidden number.
So I can at least I'll be able to save the digits.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Well, I mean, he'll see it. He thinks this is a little strange, but he's curious since there's been some strange things going on, so he'll answer. Hello? Who is this?
Hello, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I know this sounds very weird, but I don't know your name. Your number popped up in my head, and I needed to give you a call.
Oh, well, since you called me, why don't you? Well, who are you?
Where am I managed? Sorry, it's been one of those evenings. My name's Ellie. Ellie McGowan.
Oh, do I remember that name at all?
Quinn was barely paying attention, but you can roll an intelligence and politics for me.
He has no politics, so he'll definitely probably botch this.
Oh, so in other words, this is
like
like
one
one for like
success.
Quinn's strengths.
Yeah. Definitely a strength. One success.
One success. You don't want to try and
Nailed it.
you can surge your blood now, I believe, actually.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can, but I don't know why he would think to surge his blood to remember.
Well, that's always a player
That's
choice.
true. That's true. I figure from a gameplay perspective, it would be one of those things where it's like you feel the need to do it.
I think
that too.
For me, I think it probably, like for a lot of kindred, it actually just happens instinctually. Because it's something that they are capable of doing. Their beast knows that and is slightly trying to guide them at all times. So as you start thinking really, really hard, it causes your blood to surge.
You don't have to do it. You could also burn a willpower if you want to try and reroll sometimes.
Also true.
Why don't we? Well, because right now, because Quinn's still kind of new to these things, right? So he might not even. He's learning as he goes.
True that.
So he'll probably. You know what? Why not? Let's say the blood surge happens with it like involuntarily. I mean, it's going to happen involuntarily anyway.
Okay, so you rouse for that. See if you get hungrier.
Intelligence. Yeah, let's do a rouse and see. Okay, he doesn't get hungrier.
And the minimum now is what? 2 is the minimum now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he gets 2 more dice.
Yeah.
Let's see what he gets with 2 more dice. Oh, actually gets 2 more successes.
Well, there we go. That's definitely enough because it's not. This person is at least well known as you have even seen them before. Ellie McGowan is the Primogen of Clan Malkavian within the city.
Yeah, Quinn probably that would have definitely gone in one ear out the other for Quinn because he might have like met them and then like if it wasn't important to his immediate like stuff going on, he would have been just like oh okay all right and then move back on to the other stuff. So yeah, but it pops up well enough I guess. Is all right. Well, I'm my name's Quinn. Nice to make your acquaintance.
I think we've met before. We have met before. Oh, thank goodness. Sometimes this is one of those very strange things where I end up calling somebody and I need to call you and I don't know why. And I don't even know how I got your number. This is one of those that at least I know the person on the other end of the line now, at least by name.
Yeah, that's fair. It's nice to meet you. I think we met. I think I remember us meeting one time, fairly briefly. So I'm not surprised that yeah.
Well, I'm still not entirely sure why I had to call you, but usually when these things happen, I just invite the person to come down to Ellie's at any time. Usually I'll be there, but come in and grab yourself a drink, sugar, and enjoy a show, and we can have a chat.
Sounds lovely.
All right, I will probably bother somebody else tonight. Well, hopefully not. Either way, yeah, just come on down. Complimentary drinks and all that. Hopefully see you soon.
All right. Well, nice talking to you, Ellie. See you soon.
And she hangs up the phone.
Click. Well, that was he's just kind of muttering to himself. I don't know if anybody within earshot may hear. Well, that was strange.
Elijah's been standing behind Nicola, just his arms wrapped around his head on his shoulder, just like slightly rocking back and forth because he's trying to stop from being upset.
That's probably apparent, right? To Quinn, I can very, very visibly apparent. Do either of you know Ellie?
Ellie who?
I believe the Malkavian Primogen.
Less of a problem. Never mind. I know a few Ellies.
Yeah, this well, she just called me. She didn't know why she was calling me. But she invited me down for a chat at her bar. I think maybe we met one time. Oh, it's been a while, but I barely remembered. It seemed a little strange, given all the things that are going on.
Well, aren't you pretty popular?
I know, right? Quite the socialite.
Well, you have Papa Nikolai and Papa Elijah over here to help guide your footsteps with dealing with this individual, so you should be perfectly fine.
That's fair. Well, I guess, if you guys feel like it's appropriate to go down there, we could, I don't know what we're doing now. Probably finish any of our priorities first. Didn't seem like it was a urgent matter.
Sora stands up and then gently pats Quinn on the shoulder and says, you're in good hands. And they look over to Elijah and says, Elijah, you stay safe, all right? I got some things to take care of.
Where are you going?
I got to figure out how to handle corporate espionage. Well, I think I got some.
No corporate espionage tonight. That, as you said, that's a while back.
Oh, well. So I'm not going to deal with it right now, but I at least need to have the guidelines of how to work with this. So besides, I have my friend downstairs, Renee, I want to talk to real quick.
Oh, okay.
Do keep in mind, though, for future reference, Sora, I dabble in a bit of that on my own, not necessarily in the business or industry sectors or anything like that, but
someone gets a pinch on the stomach.
I control most of the hospitals in this town at this point.
Oh.
Someone gets a light pinch on the stomach.
Aren't you filled with secrets?
Just a pinch.
Okay. We'll definitely be having some good conversations then in the near future.
Just remember, your original Coterie has skills.
Oh, I know. But at the same time, I know you all have a lot of things to do, so
there are a lot of things on the plate, and
so
our wayward associates add even more to the pile.
Isn't that right? And he just looks at Elijah and smirks and says, again, stay safe. I have nothing to worry about. And he puts down his hood and makes his way outside of the security room.
I hope Sora knows that if I get into trouble, I'm dragging them down with me.
Fair enough.
Nikolai will reach back and kind of brush Elijah's cheek and lean his head into his. And so, which nightmare do we want to deal with first, my love?
Well, because I cannot go and eat one of your former cohorts. I don't even know what to call them. But, your former gang. I don't know what you call them. We probably shouldn't leave Quinn alone at the Malkavian Primogens Club.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Oh, do you want to answer that or should I?
The number of things is not worth even delving into right now.
Yeah,
It's strange that that was even proffered for no reason.
Yeah, I thought so too. You know, she said, I can't remember why.
Not that
I mean, she's
it's
a Malkavian.
yeah,
They
it's
do
strange,
that.
but it's not, and both of those are disconcerting.
I mean, are you trying to apply logic to a Malkavian?
Not logic, but understanding to some degree.
Don't, you're gonna get a headache.
There's patterns in madness.
Maybe this is one of those patterns where there's not a pattern. Let's go. I'll drive. I gave Grace the night off.
Nikolai will turn and give Elijah a quick kiss and go to walk out.
Let's go. You in the middle. Let's go, Quinn.
All right, off we go.
Off with the baby
Ellie's
Bolly.
is a sort of it's very much a jazz club that is heavily inspired by the sort of like prohibition era aesthetic, but in its design it is also very very neo-noir. It is something that would not be out of place for somebody to walk into in Blade Runner, for example. So it has that sort of like smoky neo-noir, almost cyberpunk kind of feel, but heavily on the prohibition feel. And as you walk in, the lights are dim, but dim enough for you to still see everything that is going on. But the stage is lit up, and there is a woman on the stage in a sort of white and silver evening gown, long white gloves on. Her hair is, her long brown hair is sort of done up immaculately, very pale skin, red lips. She is exceptionally beautiful, very, very green eyes. And she is singing a very sort of slow, sultry, verging on the line between jazz and blues version of I Put a Spell on You, Nina Simone. More like Nina Simone's version, not that Nina Simone did the original, but it's more like her version, but also has a lot more of the bluesiness put into it than the jazziness. But this is Ellie McGowan that is singing the tune. And the song finishes its crescendo is not the right word because it doesn't build to a crescendo, but it finishes its play, and then the crowd gives, claps all round. It is very good. It is for those of you that are appreciators of aesthetic and the arts and music. You would feel very pleased with how everything is here. And the band begins playing something else as Ellie has finished her set and walks off the stage and with a smile sort of straight to your table and looks at you, Quinn. Of all the gin joints in all the world, as they say. Quinn, yes. You're here with the other Primogen. It's nice to see you again. Nikolai, was it? Yes. And you are Elijah Smith. I have one of your pieces. And she points to a wall where it is prominently displayed.
Gently turning on Sense the Unseen to see if there's anything there. Because he's like, I'm dealing with a Malkavian.
You can roll it if you'd like.
A fake painting? That would be amazing.
Well,
I
look
love
here.
your work. Look at the prominent wall where I just make people see shit.
Elijah is like, you know what? I'm not taking any chances with Feral die. With a Malkavian.
Oh man. I'm here for it. That's
You know what? I'm burning a willpower.
Am I being demented right now?
3 successes.
3 successes. The painting is not giving off any weird glows.
No Dorian Gray vibes.
No Dorian Gray vibes from it. It appears to be an actual painting. You do pick up one thing that is near the bar. There is an exceedingly plain looking gentleman that is sort of shimmering a bit in your field of vision, that you can't quite pierce it, but you understand that this individual is definitely obfuscated to look just plain as fuck. By the bar.
I do hope you like the piece. It's I personally painted it during a very interesting time in my life.
I can tell. But it apparently wanted to be here, so that's why it's here. I don't know. I just kind of throw these places together most of the time, but it wanted to be on the wall, so there it is.
Well, it's found a good home. Quinn, you were the one who was wanted.
Yeah, that's
indeed.
So-
Don't allow us to intrude. And
Well, can I get you all a drink or something?
oh, I'm certain.
Oh heavens, yes.
so many drinks.
You can ask Raphael for we like to call it a blood orange mojito.
That actually sounds delightful. Come on, Kolya, let's go over here. Come on.
He'll wrap his arm around Elijah's waist and walk off with him. But as they get a few steps away, he will eventually whisper to Elijah, if you have the ability to keep an ear on them in some way, you should do it. I don't know if you can do that.
Darling, I've never been able to do that. Eavesdropping is not one of my best skills. Also, there's an
Yet you seem to
obfuscated
know
figure at the
everything.
bar. It's fine. It's fine. Shh.
Ellie sits down at the table by you, Quinn, and
Hmm.
she's looking at you and says, "Now, there's many ways we can go about this. Usually, if people come to me, I have no idea why they're coming to me. And on the odd occasion, I do end up having to, or just calling somebody that their number popped into my head. I know it can be a bit weird and a bit disconcerting, but for some reason, I'm supposed to talk to you tonight. Have you ever had a card reading before?
I have not that I can remember.
So it depends on if you want one or not, because we can do that, or I can just kind of sit and look at you for a while and tell you what I see.
You know, I'm a fan of interactive activities. Let's do a card reading. It sounds fun.
All right. Well, yeah, give me a moment. And she sort of goes into her little purse and she pulls out a deck of what look to be very well-worn tarot cards. Old. They are just your plain set of Rider White tarot that came out way back when. And she begins to shuffle the cards and says, "Have you been in New Orleans for that long?"
Um, a little while now. I wouldn't say super long, but definitely more than a month or two.
You know, I wasn't sure I'd like it here first, but we ended up needing to move, and it seems to be not a bad joint.
I've been in worse, yeah. It's definitely not too bad.
What do you find yourself doing with your time, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, well, you know, I'm a bit of a bookworm, so I like to, you know, play with I like to read and, you know, play in the lab, you know, bit of a science nerd.
Oh, it's never much good with that unless you count making bathtub whiskey a thing as science, but
It's
well,
something, yeah.
as she hands you the deck of cards and says, "You just shuffle that a couple of times and then cut it when you feel like."
Okay. Quinn shuffles it for about 15 seconds and then cuts it several times and puts it back in the middle.
And she begins to lay out a series of cards for you. Well, now that is interesting. And as she is talking, you actually see that her eyes have gone kind of like completely white while she is speaking to you. And I'm just going to make a little roll here.
Like whiter than usual. Yes, vamps are a little pale.
As in the greenness of her, you know, the color of her eyes has switched to white.
Oh, interesting.
Oh gosh, I lost it. Where is it?
She's like, you're all going to die down here.
You're all going to die down here. No, I'm just looking for my. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay. I'll spend a willpower on that. Okay. That's better. So we got 6. 6 with a crit. That's nice. All right. So as she is sort of laying the cards down, and the first card that she puts down, you can see that there's sort of the image of a man on it that is holding two sort of coins between his hands, and there's a bit of a infinity symbol on them, and the coins each have a pentacle on them. But that coin itself is that card itself comes up reversed, and she is looking at you, and she says, "The balance inside you has shifted quite recently. I'm seeing promises of togetherness and joy, a union of some kind. 2 becomes 3, becomes more.
Like
Well,
a
that
marriage?
choice. Something like this, a marriage. But this is more a bond of swords, a bond of setting the world on fire.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
And then she pulls out one more card and sort of places it, and it looks to be someone who is defending themselves with a staff against sort of 6 other staffs which are pointed at them, and that the dance in the fire that you will aim at the world as everyone arrayed against you.
Oh. Well, it seems uncharacteristic. You know, I'm just, I try to get along with people, you know, I'm not looking to make any, we're all friends here.
And as she lays down the final card, it seems to be a 2 people, and in the image there are arrayed 6 cups between these 2 people, but the card itself is also reversed. And looking at you with her pure white eyes, she says, "There were 2 inside you. Now there are 3. The more friends you make, the more you take, the more you will grow in your power, and you will destroy the world."
Are you talking about the memory of my wife and child? I mean, I do keep them very close.
And her eyes sort of like gloss back over and sort of shakes her head, and she's like, "What was I talking about?"
Oh. You said something about my wife and child.
Did I?
Yeah.
You were married before? And she's sort of like packing up the cards. That's nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was nice, but they're gone now.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Well, this new life we find ourselves in tends to take and take.
That it does. That it does. I take it that your introduction into this little world was probably as unhappy and violent as mine was.
Well, not knowing how yours was, I can't necessarily speak to that, but it definitely was not pleasant.
Well, I don't want to ruin your night anymore by a weird woman sharing strange stories with you, so maybe I'll leave that for another time.
It's been my pleasure, Ellie.
But I hope I gave you something useful. I never really remember what comes out of my mouth when I start these things.
Oh, well, maybe sometimes that's for the best. Sometimes we burden ourselves with too much, and I feel like sometimes it might be a blessing to forget certain things.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much you know about my own clan, but we all have some very interesting crosses to bear, shall we say.
Oh, I know very well. I've been trying to learn more about our world, but there's so much to learn. It's a long process.
Well, if you ever feel like a bit of company and a bit of a chat, I'm always happy to sing you a song and make you a drink.
Might take you up on that one of these days.
But again, as far as the visions go, I can't say that I would really remember what I'm saying, but the conversation is always good.
I can see that, absolutely.
And she sort of stands and touches you kind of like lightly on the arm and says, "Well, I think I have another set that's supposed to be starting, so I'll see you around, sugar."
Bye, Ellie.
And she walks the stage and begins doing another lovely song.
Ah, so she's the singer here too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Quinn's going to make his way back over to Elijah and just be like, well, that was interesting.
Learn anything interesting?
I learned that she has a short-term memory problem. She pulled out a bunch of cards and said a bunch of stuff and then forgot what she said. It's very strange.
Elijah, did you want to? Were you planning on trying to keep a handle on that conversation while it was happening? Or
a little bit. Trying. He's going to try.
Sure,
He
you
was
could have
asked.
made a wits and awareness roll for that.
Honestly.
If you have heightened senses, I'm not sure if you do.
Nah, he doesn't.
Okay.
S5 with a messy crit.
Oh, and this is why I love Elijah.
You know, you would be able to you order your blood orange mojitos, and you can tell why the drink is not on the menu. They come in some very, very interesting looking glasses that you can't really see inside. Definitely has orange in it, and it's definitely like a mojito, but it's like heavy on the blood. But it's delicious. But you order your drinks, and you can't quite hear, and it's very frustrating. It's absolutely irritating the crap out of you. And Quinn, as you finish your conversation with Ellie, Elijah, unknowingly, you've been like table hopping your way closer and closer and closer to the conversation so that you are actually kind of like right behind Ellie's chair. So when Ellie stands up to go, Quinn, you just get a face full of Elijah, who is now at the table. And you heard a fair amount of it. But Quinn is kind of like that sort of thing that Elijah's right
Surprise.
on you.
Well, hi, Elijah. I didn't see you sitting there. Must have been Ellie in the way.
Oh, I move fairly quickly. So was it an interesting conversation?
I think interesting's a good word for it, yeah. She can't seem to remember what she said, but
I mean, who can remember what they say? I don't even remember 10 minutes ago, but it's fine.
yeah, I try to reserve my memory for things of significance, right? So all I can think is that it must have been not very significant if she couldn't remember what she said.
I mean, happens to the best of us. So come up, you're gonna have to tell us everything that she said. Come over here and tell Kolya too. We're very interested in hearing everything.
As the conversation begins to circulate between the three of you, Ellie is back on stage and she is singing Blue Jeans by oh gosh, I forget her name now, but it's a very good rendition of it. And we are going to end our session for today.
Look in the mirror, is that what you saw? You act like a diamond, you act like a star. You can't get your feelings to look at the sun, or see through the eyes of a human at all. Oh, that's what I told you, that you sold yourself. Clouds are raining, scarecrows ain't scaring, the music's reflecting, nothing at all. Your lips are shaking, your skin is